Listen, you know why I had to hit that record button? Because you don't want to miss nothing. You're going to want to hit the replay. You're going to want to hear this show again and again, because we have a phenomenal queen that's with us, that's kicking off the month of November. As you all know, we are joined with our co-host, Dr. Leroy McKenzie. And you know we have a new theme this month. It's Be in Alignment with Your Assignment. Listen, sometimes we are in areas of our life and we feel weighted down because we've packed way too many things on our plate. Like you go to the buffet, you got eyes is bigger than your stomach, you put too much stuff on. And sometimes that happens in our everyday life as a leader, in our everyday life as a business owner. So today, we're going to start this discussion, and this entire month, whatever those things are that you need to start unpacking, you need to start unpacking. So that way you can go into next year lighter, with a clear focus, with a clear perspective. Listen, we have Dr. Nialah with us on today. Her life experiences is some of the things that she's going to be sharing with us on today are tools that we can put in our arsenal so we can continue to build, so we can continue to move forward, so we can continue to grow. She does so many things as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a speaker, as an esthetician, right? And you know, the beautiful thing that I think that's so perfect with Dr. Leroy inviting this queen on today, because I believe it's going to set the tone. It's going to set the tone for the whole entire month. Dr. Leroy, what do you say?
You know it, and I love this. It just, I just marvel at how God works. You know what I'm saying? he he always does things that are just in alignment with what he wants to have happen. So
Absolutely.
all things work in his favor because he's intentional about what he's doing. Like you said, we're at the beginning of a new month. There's only 60 days, maybe 59, however many that number is, that are left in 2022. So what better way to finish strong? For anybody that knows me, I talk about finishing strong. We finish strong on Fridays, but we want to, this is the fourth quarter, and we want to finish this year strong. So these last 2 months are about doing those things that we need to do, being in alignment, knowing what it is that our assignment is, so that we can, as that anchor leg in track and field does in that 4x100, they are the strong leg, and they go all out in that final leg, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to go all out. And you know, Catherine, you know, I got something for you this week. We're talking about finishing strong. Yes. And what are those things that you need to do to prepare you to be able to finish strong, not only just preparing to finish strong here in 2022, but get you moving into 2023. Because these are the things that I'm focusing on this week that I want people to focus on. How are you prepared? How to prepare, or being prepared, being in position, having a pace, what's your pace, and then your progress. I'm gonna say that again for y'all.
Say it again.
Be prepared, your position, your pace, and your progress. Those are the things that we want to do. Those are part of the things that we need to do, that we have to do in order to be able to finish this year, this 2022 strong, and begin 2023 on the right note, on the right foot, where we hit the ground running, where you have those things in place, that so that you can be who it is that you are assigned to be. So.
And speaking of an assigned, you know, I like looking up definition of words. And after this, we're going to formally bring on our guest. When we look at the word assignment, it means a task or a piece of work that you're specifically designed to do. It says someone is a part of a course of action. So what course of action are we going to take place in this month? And when we look at the word alignment, it says an arrangement in a straight line, or it is appropriate in relative to what you are called to do, right? And so we have to think about, are we in alignment, or are we just existing? Are we just moving forward? Are we just waking up one morning and seeing what's going to stick? Or are we very clear on what we've been called to do? And I think without any further ado, we need to bring on Dr. Nialah, because we got to get the jewels and get her intake on what this conversation is all about. First of all, Dr. Nialah, we would like to welcome you this morning. Thank you for taking your time. Time is something you can't get back, so we don't take it for granted that you're spending time with us this morning. First, tell our viewers that's tuning in now a little bit about you. We know you're an author, a speaker. What led you down this entrepreneurial path?
Well, what led me to who I am today is pain.
Talk about it.
People don't understand that in this journey that we call life, we're going to experience some, I guess you can say, not so good things in our life. And it's what we decide to do with it that will change us to become who we are as we begin to grow. There are different cycles that you will go through in life. And the most important thing that I tell people is don't fear. Don't fear the journey. Because on a journey, there are different roads. When you're taking a journey, you can turn left, you can turn right. But I tell people, you got to keep your eyes stayed on the path that you're following. When you're on a journey, there's a map that you have, and you got to stay with that map, and you can't get sidetracked. When people get sidetracked and they begin to let other people in who is not a part of the journey that they're supposed to, like for instance, you pack your bags, you all ready to travel, to go to where you're going. But hey, along that road, you may stop at the gas station and talk to somebody and they tell you about a certain thing. You're going to get off of your path. You already had your plans before you left. But what did you do? You allowed things to come in to take you off track of where you're supposed to be. So who is Dr. Nialah Ali? I am an overcomer. I am an overcomer, and I call myself Dr. Nialah Ali Queen, because to me, a queen is one who serves. A queen is one who's in the community. A queen is one who's out there fighting. A queen is one who represents the Most High. I love the Most High because he directs your path, but the Most High definitely tells you to stay focused on him. Stay focused on the dream and the vision and what he's called you to do. I'm a teacher because I love teaching. I love helping people. I'm an esthetician because of scars that I had inside and out. People don't understand. You have to remake yourself.
With the remaking process, a lot of times that also means you have to get naked before yourself and be bare with those scars and see it for what it is.
Absolutely.
And in that process, for those that may be watching now, or those that's going to be watching later, I mean, what do you recommend? Because it's not always the easiest thing to be bare,
honey,
and to see it for what it is.
It's definitely not easy. Let me tell you this. It's not easy, but when you have the picture in front of you, you've got to stay focused. Are you going to experience pain? Yes. What do I do with the pain when it comes? You have to replace that pain with something positive. You may say, Dr. Nialah Ali, for instance, I have a friend, I was trying to help her. She had some things that happened, some tragedies that happened in her life, but she told me when the tragedies happened, what she was going to do. Guess what? She never did it. And today she's upset. She's in a lot of confusion because the path that she was supposed to take, she did not take it. So my thing is to get rid of the pain is you got to exchange that pain with something else to focus your attention on. You have to be an attention grabber. You got to grab a hold to it. You got to allow that pain. Now, does the pain hurt? But we can do things with pain. Is the pain, from a loss? When you have pain from a loss, I tell people, I lost my husband years ago. I lost my dad. You've got to grieve properly. You have to learn the processes that you go through for each type of pain that you're experiencing. For instance, as a licensed esthetician, why did I become a licensed esthetician? Because when I looked in the mirror, I didn't like myself. I didn't like the fact that I was battered and abused and I, had certain looks on my face. I was uncomfortable with me. If you're uncomfortable with yourself, it's up to you to change it. And then when I worked in the makeup field, I found out that women, their husband had never seen their real face, that they hide themselves. But are you hiding from what's within? Are you hiding from what's without? So as an esthetician, I'm able to talk to women, men about the inside and the outside, because the outside person is going to perish. But what about the real you on the inside? You've got to deal with that pain on different levels. What does pain look like? Pain looks like it's hurt. It breaks your heart. It breaks you down to a crumb sometimes. But you got to get back up and sit back at the table and eat. You got to get back at that table and eat. Don't stay down at the bottom. You got to rise back up. You got to be a warrior. You got to fight. And the battle is not always yours. You can bring a team of people around you to help you. And the most important thing that I want to say is don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of your journey and the things that you go through. A lot of us put on these fads, put on these clothes and go outside. you got on, and I do a teaching on that, you got on red bottom shoes and you're supposed to have on some combat boots. Don't go out there before your time. Kick those red bottom shoes off and put on those combat boots and back. You may need to have on ballerina shoes. Maybe you need to get out there and dance. You know what I'm saying? It's the season that you're in that you have to take those opportunities to regrow and renew yourself. It's all about renewal.
Regrow and renew. I mean, you said so many things, and it's definitely, it fits with what we're talking about, because sometimes that's why we're not in an alignment, because we don't truly know who we are. Absolutely. So we're gravitating to anything that's kind of put before us, and we're holding on to it because we're trying to see or answer the question of who am I?
Absolutely.
Because when we don't know who we are, we're not in alignment. We are exhausted because we're stretching ourselves too thin. You talked about so many things down from the physical in terms of what we see when we look at ourselves in the mirror, then the internal, how we feel about ourselves. But then you talked about how we have to be made over, and we don't have to do it alone. Exactly. And I think, you know, what I'm hearing from you, even for us to get in an alignment in this month of November, is getting before ourselves, by ourselves, and looking in the mirror.
Absolutely.
And knowing that sometimes it's going to be hard to see what is, but we have to take that step to uncover the jewels that lie on the inside of us. And I tell you, and Dr. Leroy, what are your thoughts on what we've been saying so far?
No, I truly agree with everything that both of you have said. And all of this alignment with your assignment, it begins with you. You've got to be mentally, the mental mindset sets the tone for any and everything that we do. Because if our mindset isn't there to want to make that change that Dr. Ali was talking about, it's not going to happen. I don't care what anybody says. Your mindset has to be there first for you to be able to do anything that we want to achieve, anything that we want to do. You have to be in the right focus. You got to be in the right mindset in order to be able to begin doing that work within, and even to do the work that's on the outside as well too. Truly.
Absolutely. I want to give a couple of shout outs. We have a Williams that's tuning in. She knows Williams is tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting. And then Miss McDuffie, thank you so much for even sharing this live feed. Any business owner that's watching now, watching later, what we always do, if you have a business, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, or if you have a book, we have some authors that tune in. Feel free to drop your business handles, your website, any kind of contact information. You can drop it in the live feed. If you want to be a part of the conversation, like always, just drop your content information or drop your questions or feedback as we continue to talk today about being in an alignment with your assignment. So Dr. Nialah, back to you. So it came to a place where it was a brokenness, and I can speak to that because it was many places in my life that I was broken, and that's why I was not in alignment and found myself in different pathways that it was not syncing up to who I was or what I was even specifically supposed to be doing. When you're in a state of brokenness, it's like, you know, let's say you're driving and it's a bunch of fog. You're not really clearly seeing through that fog because there's a lot in your view. Sometimes that's how it is when you're not in an alignment. It's like a fog. Tell people though, how can they start? And you've already shared some tips, but if they're in that fog, how can they start? Some may say, I don't know where to begin. I know I'm supposed to look at myself in the mirror. I know I'm supposed to deal with it straight on, but what if that is like a roadblock even just to do that part?
I'm gonna give you a little story about growing up. It's in my book, Free at Last. So, and like I said before, there are different assignments at different times in your life. Okay. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, so throughout our lifespan, we're gonna, you know, have different fogs that come in. So when my mother left us as children, it was when I tell you, it was my desire to be the greatest mom ever. That was my assignment, to prove people wrong and to prove to myself that I could be a great mom. I was with I was point on. I had to get rid of what happened. So my focus for my healing, it was, I'm going on this journey. What's my journey? To be the best mom that I can be. Was it always easy? But I had a path that I wanted to follow. And that was to see my kids to become great. It was to see at that time, all I was focused on was a mother. I wasn't focused on, going out here, conquering the world, going up corporate America. See, what's your assignment? See, your assignment is going to always align you back up. You see what I'm saying? Now, once, and during that time, of course, I recreated myself. I recreated myself from the pain. Did it bother me sometimes? Yes, but because I had an assignment, it broke off all of the change that was on me. You know what I'm saying? It broke off some of the things that I didn't feel like I could ever get rid of. But with my mom's situation, forgiveness, whatever circumstances and situation that you're in, you have to forgive. You have to let go, and you have to replace that pain. You have to get rid of them. You got to get through the fog, because we know as we are going down the road, like you said, the fog is there, but as you continue to travel, the fog is going to eventually lift, and you'll be able to see clearer. So to me, and for me, seeing clearer is a plan, having a plan. And as we're saying, you're going to have struggles, you're going to have pain, but you got to focus. You got to speak to yourself. I'm a serious person when it comes down to affirmations. You've got to tell yourself, meaning your brain, tell your inward self that I can get over this. I can get through it. When a relationships break up, young kids, they get in these relationships and they feel like, oh, you're going to die. No, because that's not the only person out there in the world. I tell my daughter all the time, girl, don't be worrying about these dudes right here in the United States of America. We got a whole world. Oh, it's only 10 men to one woman. No. You better get outside of the United States of America, start looking abroad. That's the answer.
Look abroad.
I think I fixed that right there. Don't just stay, because we as America, we are always complaining about the singleness in America. You got to get out there and travel, and honey, your man may be in Timbuktu. You don't know. So get out of that. See, there's always an answer to everything, but people get stuck. But when you have an assignment, you got to stay aligned. Another situation. Okay, I'm in my business doing pretty good. Okay, a struggle comes a little bit. And then here comes Michelle. Girl, I got this business I want you to be a part of. Girl, it's going to... But is that a part of your assignment? Is that what are you supposed to look over here to what she's telling you to do, or look over here to what John is telling you to do? And in your Noah, you will know whether that is something that you saw yourself pursue. But we'll waste 6 months. 6 months on somebody else's dream and vision, that if you had to stay focused on the assignment, you wouldn't have got distracted off. And here you are. It's such a waste of time when you spend time doing something that you're not purposed to do. Your purpose is what's going to carry you until you close your eyes. Your purpose of whatever it may be, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a mother, what you're a father, whatever your assignment is. And I ask people, what do you wake up for in the morning? My girlfriend, she's not with us anymore. She lost several children, and her assignment was to open up a unwed mother. She never pursued it. She knew it, but sometimes the pain can allow you to stay stuck. I want to tell your audience today, don't stay stuck. Write out the plan, get you a map. Journaling is the most important thing. And I want you to know that journaling can be a happy journaling. Don't make your journaling sad, because if all you can see is the sadness, you won't be able to see the light, because the light is at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And you talked about your book. Again, give us the name of your book and how people can find your book.
The name of my book is Freedom Within the Looking Glass, Free at Last. And I'm doing a journal right now called The Triumphant Queen, because I feel like when you become free at last, you know what I'm saying? Freedom within the looking glass. And I got free. This story that I did on freedom within the looking glass is, it's like, are you sure you want me to write this book? And this book is about Caucasians on the plantation and their interactions with the slaves and the love relationships that was going on on the plantation, but it also talks about the abuse in the Bible and different journeys that you go through with abuse. And then at the end of the book, I put a lot of exercises that you can do. So I love that book, but it is an eye opener because it lets you know that abuse can be on different levels. There's love abuse, you know, like for instance, some women, when they are abused, you know, sometimes they tell themselves it's my fault. You know, the first thing I tell people is run. Is run. So I can go on many paths. So Freedom Within the Looking Glass, Free at Last, the journal, The Triumphant Queen can be found on drnialahali.com website. That's Dr. Nialah Ali's. Yes.
drnialahali.com.
Yes.
Go to the website, go there now, share information about her books. It's definitely, I want to get that Looking Glass book. It's very intriguing.
It's very intriguing. I had one lady say, oh my God, I want more. It was very different. And it has a little bit of empathy in there where one of the slave master's wives wanted to let the slave go free. I mean, she just couldn't stand the sadness in the slave's eyes. I mean, because like I said, you're gonna have pain. This woman, whose husband was the master, she had issues that her husband, you know, was intermingling, and the only time he came to her is when he wanted a child. You know, it's just so many avenues that go along with what happened on the plantation. And I got this through a lot of research. I did a lot of research, and I had no idea the things that was going on. But it is a very good read.
Okay. All right. Listen, I want to touch on one point that you said, and then I'm going to pass it to Dr. Leroy for him to chime in. You had said, recreate yourself from the pain. And I had wrote that down. Actually, I put it in the chat feed. But I think that was powerful because a lot of times we can get stuck in the pain. I can attest to that. And the thing is, but when you said it, it reminded me that is also what I had to do. I had to recreate myself through it, in it, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck. Like quicksand, you know, somebody's in, you know, or cement, or somebody gets stuck in that. That's something that's solid and you're not moving. And sometimes that's how it is. And we get stuck in cement and it's solid now and we're not moving forward, backward, we just stand still. But you talked about recreating yourself from the pain. Talk a little bit more about that. Then I'm gonna pass it to Dr. Leroy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how I recreated myself. That's why I became a makeup artist, okay? You know, people wear makeup because they want to look different because they're not satisfied with who they are. See, that was my first, I was actually an image consultant with Beauty Control Cosmetics for years. I began to recreate myself with makeup. Then, let me tell you, girl, I found out that is not going to work. Because you know why? Why doesn't it work? Because you got to take it off. And you still got to look at yourself anyway. So then I was like, oh, well, I need to help my clients get rid of their scars. Because as a makeup artist, you can't touch a client. You can't feel a client, you know. So I became a licensed esthetician to help myself and women to get over their scars. I was recreating myself in the process. Then I became a prophetess, teacher, counselor. So I exchanged my pain for gain, not for me. You see, honey, it's to be a servant for others. When you are focusing on other people who have sort of gone through what you've gone through or experiencing some type of pain or issues in their life, you will get so much gratification. You will be able to be at peace because you're helping somebody else who sort of is in that same situation that you may have been in. So I recreated myself by becoming a makeup artist, and image consultant. I couldn't even walk out the door unless I was looking flat. That was a part of who I was. I became an esthetician, makeup artist, a counselor, a teacher, a speaker, an author. You have to find ways that you can give into your community. So giving into my community, and let me tell you, I began to take women in. So when I opened up my day spa, My day spa took women in to comfort them, to love them. So you get rid of your pain and you get gain by expressing and then you're able to minister to other people. You're able to express how you felt, and then you will find out that your pain is not as bad as it seemed, because you will find out during your serving that there are people who are worse off than you, and that yours isn't as bad as you think it is. So recreating yourself on different levels is what's going, and I keep saying that over and over, recreating yourself, because that is the answer. You can't stay, like you said, stuck sitting around. So you just think about all the different things that I became. 7 different, but I can use my gifts in every area. When I had that day spa, it was the most rewarding and fulfilling, and I'm a great cook, cooking for my clients, giving them the necessary foods, becoming a certified master wellness coach, teaching people how to live from the inside out. Image Within Ministries is my business. You can go to imagewithinministries.com. That's an old website, but I keep it up and running because it teaches you how to take care of your spirit, your soul, and your body. That's who I am, the master spiritual esthetician, because it's your spirit, it's your soul, it's your body. And if one of them are out of connect, you're going to be in balance. It's like having a balanced being. You got to balance your spirit, soul, and body out with what it needs. Your spirit man needs to be fed. That's the inward you. That's the you. You got to pull your skin off. You got to take off of this flesh, and you got to see the light. Behind your eyes is your spirit man. Then you have your spirit, you have your flesh, you have your emotions. You got to feed your mind on positive things. When a family breaks up, for instance, scenario, when my mother and dad got a divorce, the judge gave 3 to my mom, 3 to my dad. The 3 that went with my mom, oh my God, read my book. You ain't gonna believe, but my siblings that went with my dad, they had a good life with the school, graduated, but the ones who went with my mom, it was drugs, it was alcohol, it was rape, it was so many ugly things. But we had, all 3 of us had to overcome it. And what, my brother, he's a minister today. My sister, she educated herself. She was a bookworm. She knows, she's at the top of where she can be in corporate America. Everybody uses their pain, and then they begin to get gain. You got to have gain. And you got to have great expectations. Okay. You got to have great expectations out of life. Sometimes you just need to dance the night away. Sometimes you just need to skip down the street. There are things that you can do to make yourself happy. Put on happy music. Put on music that makes you smile. You got to dance a little bit. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, because they got red boots for men too. Take them darn red. You ain't ready for red boots yet. You're not ready for red shoes yet. Come on now. For real. For some women so into themselves and what people think that they paint the bottom of their shoes red just to be in crowd. Come on now, that lets you know that you're in balance, because you want to feel like you somebody because you got on red bottom shoes. That's a problem within.
Problem with
Image Within Ministries will teach you about your spirit, soul, and your body, and how to balance it out. So go to imagewithinministries.com.
Image Within Ministries. With IES .com.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Dr. Leroy.
Let me tell you, we have started November off in a powerful way. Dr. Ali is sharing how we push through to get to our assignments. So part of our assignments is pushing through. Where we go through that aspect of our journey, but to understand that that's not the destination. Was it Marvin Sapp that said, what's the song? I love that song too. Y'all gonna make me go and listen to it today. This is not the time nor the place. But it talks about, that song talks about that the place that you are is not your place of destiny. And when you understand your purpose, you know that, hey, I might be here for a minute. And I truly believe this, that God gives us 24 hours to have a pity party, to boo-hoo, cry, get it all out. Get it out, do what you need to do. But after that 24 hours is up, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep moving. You keep moving forward. That's the way that you get to where you ultimately are supposed to be. There are assignments along the journey, as Dr. Ali said. It's a journey. It's not a destination spot. This walk that we're on, this journey that we're on, it's not, we're not done until we close our eyes.
Mhm.
So everything that we do has to be purposeful, has to be mindful, has to be in being able to being aligned with what we believe God has assigned us to do. And even though it may be tough, and I love you talked about the fog. You talked about the fog, but I think about it like this too. When I'm going through a tough time, I always think of it as a long, dark tunnel. It's this long, dark tunnel. But I keep telling myself, if I keep walking, if I keep moving, I'll eventually see this light at the end of that tunnel. And it begins as a small little speck. But I know if I keep walking, I keep moving towards that light, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it allows me to be able to keep moving forward and what it is in the journey, and not be discouraged, because I know if I keep moving, I might feel tired and might feel like wanting to give up, but I know if I keep stepping, keep moving, I will get to where it is that I'm supposed to be. Whether it's, the ending this year, 2022 is coming to an end. And I say this at the end of every year, there can be some folks and some things that can't go with you into 2023. This is the time now to start to put people on notice, put things on notice. Hey, you got 60 days. That's it. Your 60-day notice has arrived, and you can't go with me into 2023, because that's not part. You aren't a part of that. You aren't a part of the assignment for 2023. There's some people, there's some things that aren't supposed to be a part of the assignment. Their assignment was only in 2022, so their time is coming to an end. So we have to be strong enough. We have to be focused enough to say, you know what, there's some things I got to let go of. There's some things that I got to, there's some people that I got to let go of as well. And that's not going to be easy. It might be people that you really, truly, that they are not purposed to go with you into your assignment into 2023. So yeah, this has been powerful this morning.
Dr.
Go ahead.
Dr. Leroy, the main thing is, okay, you said going down a dark tunnel and keep moving. But what are you moving towards? That's the key. You're moving and you're trying to get down that dark, but what are you moving towards? And remember, we talked about how pain can change who you are. You can recreate yourself in whatever aspect that you want to. So you're moving towards something. And the thing is sitting down with yourself, because a lot of people still today don't know who they are, where they come from, and where they're going. What are you moving towards? What is the assignment? What makes you, for instance, if people, like a lot of people who have cancer, they become a part of cancer awareness. They get involved. It's their everyday heartbeat when they get up. So they took what they experienced. See, this is what I'm saying about remaking yourself. They take what they experience and they use it and go out and help others. People who have all different type of sicknesses, they go out and they transition themselves. They don't stay in there. They overcame it. So they're happy. And now they want to help other people and show other people, this is what I did. And this is what you can do. And that's just a scenario as far as how they remaking themselves. They could have stayed down in the dump, but no, they got up and did something about it. So what I'm saying is, for instance, if you have problems dealing with children, get involved with children. Well, it's so many things that we can do, because of what I went through as a teenager and a kid. I took in therapeutic kids, honey. I worked at the group homes. What was I doing? Remaking myself, forgetting about what I went through and working in a group home. And man, do you know that those kids that I dealt with when they were 11 and 12, 3 of them still in my life, man. They're in their 30s now. I'm their mama. They call me mom. I mean, it's like, oh, mom, I need help. And I'm so happy for them. But guess what? it was me because of my pain. I spoke into their lives every day and told them I overcame it. And guess what? They're guys and they are strong, great men today. And I'm so happy that Christians like, mom, I'm back with my wife. One of them got married. I'm with my wife, mom. I'm in church every day. Do you know how that makes me feel? It just puts happiness in my heart. Did I want to take care of those hard knock little guys? But no, I went through some pain. So it's like, let me go help the kids. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever you went through, go to what you can use that to bring peace in your life. I don't even be thinking about nothing that happened when I was a kid. I'm like,
as you went through that process and the pain was recreated into who you are now. And not only that, also what I'm hearing from you, once you're able to deal with the pain of the past, process it, heal from it, now you're not just keeping it to yourself, though. You've written books, you're a speaker, you're going out and like what you're doing this morning and encouraging others and giving them the tools, just practical things that you did and how we can also be an overcomer and to continue to move forward. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, this month is going to be a lot of transition that's going to take place in our life because of that 60-day notice. And Dr. Leroy, when you said the 60-day notice, I went and I looked up the word notice. And it says the fact of observing or paying attention to something. And then another way it's defined, it's a notification or warning of something. And so I started thinking about when you said 60 days notice, what do we need to give warning to? What do we need to call out? What do we need to examine and say, you know what? This is not going to carry into 2023. In fact, we don't even have to wait till January. We can start it today, November the 1st, and start putting new practices into place, start putting new habits into place. For example, on my eating side, well, Dr. Leroy, I love my sweets and my foods and things of that nature. But you know what? I said I am shifting. I'm not waiting till January. It's a joke to say, the people say in January, that's when all the gyms are full. But I am starting now to transition my eating pattern, my habits. And what was the connection to my eating habits? Why was I an emotional eater? What was that connected to? What was the root of that, right? And dealing with it, getting bare to myself, looking at myself and saying, this was the root. But I have to deal with the root so I don't continue to just resort to food as the out or resort to food as a substitute to compensate for me not dealing with the reality of what is. And so I think everything that you're saying, Dr. Ali, and everything you're saying, Dr. Leroy, was definitely that 60-day notice struck me. I dropped that in the chat feed too. And for anyone watching now or anyone watching later, what do you need to give a notice to? Because it talks about it's a warning or indication of something. Sometimes when we're in different phases of our life, we see red flags, but sometimes we don't want to see them at the same time. Sometimes it could be in our business, it can be in different affairs that we're engaged with, and we know the expiration date been passed, just like milk. We see on a milk carton the expiration, and we know if we drink that milk after the expiration, it's not going to taste good, nor will it digest well into our system. It's the same thing in our everyday life. A lot of times we have been in places and situations or individuals in our circle, we in other circles, and it's past the expiration date. But we stayed, and Dr. Ali, you referenced that. Sometimes we're staying in a place and it's been dead.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I didn't mean to interrupt. The thing about that I try to tell people is, don't look back. The word of God says, pressing towards the mark, forgetting those things that are behind and pressing towards the mark of the high call. You got a higher call than what happened in your life. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, you can't blame people because life happens. We live in a fallen world. Do you know what really set me free, you guys? It's when I recognized my mother's story. See, it ain't just all about you. That's what people don't understand. When I recognized my mother's story, my mother was a little young kid, had all them 6 nappy-head little kids. Let me tell you something. My mother was in pain herself. When I read my mother's story, when my mother told us her journey, how can I blame my mama? I can't. Life happens, you got to get that. Life happens, but it's what we do when trouble comes, because trouble's gonna come in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how it's gonna come, but it will. It's what we do with it. Absolutely. Don't take no for an answer when you're going forward. You got to say yes to every possibility. Say yes to it. And be an example to others in your community. Be a community activist. That is the most happiest place you can be. Since churches are no longer like they used to be, people are finding some other things that they can do in the community. Because remember, the Black community church, it was a haven. We did so many things. We was doing so many things. We was so happy going here and then, going to the jail ministry, the prison. You can still do those things. Do those things. Get out there. Make people happy. And I promise you, if you make others happy, you will really forget about it, because you'll have more joy making others happy who are worse off than you. You want to see pain? Find somebody who's going through worse situation, and I promise you, you'll feel so much better, because everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Maybe you need to write about it. Put out a book. Help other people. Whatever it takes for you. I just don't want you to wallow in shame. I don't want you to wallow in the predicament that you may find yourself in. And I could go on and on about some certain things, but I'll let you guys read my books and you'll find out how to deal with certain things. I don't want to tell everything.
Absolutely, Dr. Leroy.
No, I think everything that Dr. Ali said is so true in dealing with ourselves. And I've said this, the pandemic made people have to deal with themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why we see a lot of what's going on in regards to, people not finding their ways, because they had to sit with themselves. They had to, and some people still didn't sit with themselves, even within, when they couldn't go anywhere. They could no longer run. And that's, we need to take that time each year. We have to take the time to do that self-development. We have to do that self-analysis, to look at who we are spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, professionally, personally. We have to look at who we are if we're going to become better. And anybody that listens to me know my purpose is always to make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. And the way that we do that is by looking at ourselves, doing that honest assessment. We like y'all said, Kevin, I think you said at the beginning, looking at yourself in the mirror and say, you might not like what you see. And if you don't like what you see, what are you going to do to change that person? Michael Jackson said it. I'm looking at the mirror, and in the mirror, I've got to, make him change his ways. I mean, that song is so, it's a simple song, but if we look at ourselves, change begins with us. Even change within us has to begin. We started off talking about mindset. The mindset for this month. So what's your mindset gonna be for the whole month of November? Where are you mentally trying to be? What do you mentally want to be? And you just take it day by day, and you take it week by week and month by month. That's what you do. You take it, put one step in front of the other. I always say this: how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one piece at a time. You can't eat the whole thing at one time. And that's the same approach that we should have to getting better, being better. Take it one step, one piece at a time, and you'll find yourself the progress that you'll make. All of those things. And Catherine, and I think I told you that when Marcy, the fitness trainer, had those challenges. I've been walking. So I won in the last challenge she did. I won a 4-week session with her.
Oh wow! Okay.
So she put together this whole meal plan. She put the whole routine in it. She about killed me. I don't like you right now, Marcy. Just tell you I don't like you right now. But it has been, when I first started walking, and I was telling her this, I said, thank you. I said, because I was doing nothing but walking initially. For the 4 months, I was just walking, getting out, because she had gotten me into where my assignment was to be walking, and I've been wanting to do it. She kind of gave me that kick that I needed in order to be able to do it, to get going. So I've been walking for about 4 months, stepped on the scale, and I'd lost 10 pounds.
Wow.
And I was like, man, and she was like, yeah, she said, just the simple thing of walking, that exercise, if we all understood that, just walking, what that can do for you in terms of your health. And now I've thrown into that the eating, what I eat. I've always eaten, pretty healthy, pretty good food. So that aspect of it hasn't really changed, but she's given me kind of fine tune the meals that I can eat, that I should eat, tracking what it is that I'm eating and being purposeful in my eating and everything like that. So when you understand the assignment, you put those things and you can string those things together, you can get to where it is that you want to be. Because I told her, my lose 10 between 2 pounds. I was just like, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And I was just like, just walking got me halfway to where it is that I wanted to be. So I was just like, well, man, and here I am. It's been there all the time, but I just hadn't taken the time to really focus on it and to be aligned with what it is that I wanted to do. And it just shows you what you can do when you are aligned with what it is, the assignment that you want to achieve. You know what I'm saying?
You did it daily, right? Or
yeah, I did 5 days a week. It was usually Monday through Friday, and then I took the weekends off to just kind of recuperate and everything like that. But ever since I've been doing the workouts that she gives me, because I work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday I kind of do like just a stretching type thing, and everything like that. I can see the difference, and I can feel the difference, I should say. And that's what she's told me, you're gonna feel the difference because you're getting your body back acclimated to to exercising, to moving, and all of those things. So that makes it makes a difference, and not just and it's not just the physical. We talk about this, Dr. Ali. It's not just the physical. It's the mental, and it's the mental, physical, and the emotional aspect of it. Because not only am I eating right, but I'm also, I feel better more, and the major thing too is getting more sleep, make sure that I get the proper amount of sleep. All of those things tie into feeling better as a whole person.
Yeah.
But guess what you did, Dr. Leroy? Guess what you did? You got help.
Yep.
And that's Absolutely. One statement that I wanted to say. Don't be afraid to get help. Yeah. We don't know everything. I don't want people to fear. So, for instance, if you have something that you want to do, you have an expertise, but within some of the things that you want to do, you need to get a team around you to help you. Don't feel bad if you can't do A, B, C, D. That's where other people come in to help you. So Dr. Leroy got help. He had some struggles, and he got someone to come in and help. And another thing I want you to do is make sure you get people around you who is not pushing you to where you don't want to go. I have learned that over the years. I'm so glad that I have the people around me now. It took years, but guess what? You have to be patient, because I had some people around me trying to tell me ABC, and I knew, just hard not. But see, I'm a gentle person when it comes to certain things. Yes, I can be, but when it comes down to strategies and business, I need someone to help me who is kind and who see my vision and not trying to take me somewhere where I don't. Be strong enough to speak up and say, I don't think that's it right there. But get the help. If you are a speaker, so for me, for instance, I'm a writer. Let me tell you something about writing. I need editing, okay? My friend girl said, girl, just write it. I don't know what all of the commas and this, but Dr. Leroy, you better make sure get it edited because those are things that it's okay. We have strengths and we have weaknesses. So don't make yourself feel bad if you're doing something. Just get a little bit of help sometimes, and that will help your journey go along as well. Don't want to fear life. You got to go full-fledged. And like we said in the beginning, you need arsenal. That's what I put in my book, The Journal. You got to have, what is your arsenal? What are you fighting with? What tools do you have to help you become an overcomer? They were talking about the black the king woman. Let me tell you something. When I did all of the research for this journal, man, there was so many powerful women, kings, queens, and it's like, yes, we got to fight this battle because, you know, we're the life giver. We as women, we're the one who bring forth. And so that makes us strong in so many other situations and circumstances, because look what we go through when we have to bring forth a child, and you're protecting a child within you for 9 months. We can do anything. We can fight through anything. There's nothing that we can't do because we had a fortitude inside. We just have to look within and look without and get the help that you need. And I want to tell people too, our people, because I'm all about our people. If you need counseling, it's okay. If you want to sit down with a mentor, a counselor, get someone who can allow you to express how you really feel. And I tell people in grieving, cry. When my husband passed, man, I cried, I hit pillows, I screamed. You have to do the work. Once you've done the work, once you talk to yourself and other people and you see the perspective that you're in it, that go for it. Write out the plan. You can do all things through Christ. You can do it. I promise you, it'll get better with time. Be patient with yourself. You're going to live, and see, I tell myself, I'm going to live long and strong. I want to live till I'm 90. You know why? Because I want to be able to pursue and do all of the things that I want to do in my life. So I don't worry about what I haven't done. Don't worry about what you haven't done. You're not going anywhere. You know, like Dr. Leroy, he's doing everything to live. He's exercising, he's eating right. Taking care of the body is our responsibility, feeding it what it needs, giving it what it needs to survive. We know that we shouldn't be eating pancakes and all of that stuff. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage. Man, come on, you can't do that every day of the week.
Watch it. Don't be talking about my pancakes, man.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. We can do all things.
Yeah.
Dr. Ali, again, as plug your contact information. How can people reach you? For those that's tuning in now and going to be watching later, we thank you for plugging in. I see the shares. We thank you for sharing this live feed. I know you've gotten so much value out of this. And Dr. Ali, we just appreciate you. But plug once again your contact information.
DrNialahAli.com. imagewithinministries.com, and you can also see me speaking the word of God on YouTube, Dr. Nialah Ali.
Dr. Ali, right. Can you spell your first name so that everybody can
Nialah, last name Ali.
Yeah. There it is, Dr. Ali.
They might spell it wrong. How you spell? They might not know how to spell Nialah. So I love that.
We encourage everybody, go to the websites, check out the books that she shared on today so that it can be empowering, impactful, but more importantly, you can take the tips and implement it in your everyday life. Dr. Leroy, any final words or anything you want to plug?
I mean, it's I'll talk about this first, and then I'll talk about the academy. But everything that Dr. Ali said, I mean, this is a great way to start this month off and being aligned, in alignment with your assignment. We know that our cars, every so often you have to get on a front wheel alignment. You have to get an alignment for your car. And that happens because the axles or whatever, they shift as you hit the bumps or you hit the potholes. And if you're in Baltimore, every other street has a pothole in it that could damage the car. But you have to put the car back into alignment because it'll either shift to the left or it'll shift to the right. Well, getting in alignment for you personally means that you have to have the help, as Dr. Ali said, those people that will allow you, what I call your circle of impact, that will get you, okay, you lean a little too left, I need you to get back to the center. You lean a little to the right, you need to get back to the center. Those are the people that around you, and you do the same thing to them, for them, where you are that person that gets them back in alignment. You are that person that is showing them, hey, you let me get you back where you need to be. Let me make sure you focus and make sure you're heading in the direction that you're in. When you do those things, I promise you'll find yourself being better. and you'll be better. You honestly will. The only thing that I will plug, Catherine, is the Bankrupt Proof Your Biz Academy that myself and my business partner, one of my business partners has. It's for those entrepreneurs that are looking to have their businesses secure from a financial and a legal standpoint. So we want to make sure that if you're starting a business or that you have a business, that you are protected, that you have your business protected from a legal and a financial aspect. The Academy is an 8-week program that we created for entrepreneurs, so that we can not only that you can have the doors open, but you can keep the doors open. So that's the only thing. But you can register now for that.
Absolutely. And final words, I just want to touch on something you said. What's your mindset for the month of November? Yeah. Take away the things that we talked about today, and you have to implement it in areas of your life that fits for you, that works for you, for where you're going. Being in alignment with your assignment is our theme for this entire month. Not just a theme just to have a theme, but it's also for us to rework how we're thinking in our mindset so it can show up in our everyday life, whether it be in our businesses, our families, and our communities. When we are in alignment, we will show up differently. When you walk into that room, you don't have to walk into the room like anybody else or duplicating another individual. When you walk into that room, when you're in alignment with your assignment, you will show up as the person that you're supposed to be. You will be ordained for whatever assignment you're supposed to do, and you're going to have the tools and the resources to bring it forth and to carry it out. With that being said, for anybody that's in the DMV area, it's all going down this Friday. It is the next strategic collaboration network mix. And listen, let me tell you something. You don't want to miss this Friday. We're having a business scavenger hunt. You're going to find out what that looks like and what that feels like if you come this Friday. It's this Friday at 6 p.m. Where? It's 3000 Chestnut Avenue, Suite 100D. Listen, y'all, I got a YouTube video that can really direct you to right where the parking lot is. So if you want to come this Friday and you've never been there, send me an email, ct@catherinetrotter.com, so I can send you this video. I'm saying this because it can be a little complicated to try to find where we are. You can get there, but then trying to find right where the door is. Let me tell you something. We got a video for you. Or you can call or you can text 443-799-6529. Again, that's 443-799-6529. Then on November the 12th at 4:30 p.m., it's on a Saturday. It's focused on finance. We will be having a financial workshop in collaboration with National Life Group. For those that may or may not know, I am a licensed broker with National Life Group as it relates to life insurance and annuities. Retirement planning, we have to be focusing on where we're going. Being in alignment is also making sure our finances are in alignment and knowing where we're going down the road. So with that being said, for anyone that want to check me out, go to my website, catherinetrotter.com, Catherine with a C, and we're going to see you at the top.